This is episode 193 of the TWIM show. I'm your host Sajid, and this is the first episode of 2024. And today we are going over the notable news and updates from the week of January 1st through January 5th, 2024. First up, we have an announcement or update to the announcement that we have covered in the past, where Google has actually begun to turn off third-party cookies for 1% of the Chrome users. Now, this update was covered in, I believe, some episode of the TWIM show in December, or could be end of November, but either way, we did cover that Google is going to do it in January, but I just didn't expect Google to do it starting January 4th. Remember, January 1st was a holiday, so 2nd, 3rd, that's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is when this thing turned on. Now, you would say, hey Sajid, 1% is very little, but keep in mind 1% means roughly 30 million people. So that's a big number globally. Now, the thing you need to be aware of and you need to do is that you need to start moving away from third-party cookies and start using either first-party cookies or server-side tracking, something like that. The impact of this removal is yet to be fully realized, but it's clear that you need to be ready for a cookieless future. And what is third-party cookies? I believe you know this, but third-party cookies have traditionally provided vital insights for targeted advertising. With their removal, Google will categorize users into anonymized topic listing, allowing brands to target subset of users, but without the granular data previously available. This change is expected to lead to less effective advertising campaigns and consequently reduce revenue for web publishers. It also signifies increased cost for businesses in targeting ads. For a business owner or for you, this may, represent a significant challenge and opportunity depending on how you look at it. Other than that, we shall stay, tuned in and see how this works out. Okay, next up. There was an interesting post on Reddit on why you should and should not buy a DA and DR service from providers such as Fiverr or Upwork, things like that. Now, if you're not familiar with what DA or DR is, DA stands for domain authority and DR stands for domain rating. This is a metric that was developed solely by Ahrefs, which is a third-party product company. And again, and this was something that happened recently, and Google's search advocate John Miller also commented, and he kind of said, hey, it might work for a short-term spammy websites, and you might get some short-term success, but it's not gonna really be helpful. Now, you could say, Sajid, why are you covering this? Well, I'm covering this because I've seen this again and again, where in the SEO community, business owners and some SEO professionals are pushing, hey, we're going to create backlinks and we're going to get your DA, DR up over 50, because the higher the number, the better it is. And I think the highest you can get is 100. Now, this is, and you should look at the show notes if you really want to go deep dive into it, because there were like a lot of comments from the Reddit community on why it is not a good idea. It's such a bad idea, and in fact, if anything, it can actually penalize you. Some of the things that has really come up are toxic backlinks, which are basically backlinks that are provided by these services or service providers are usually flagged by search engine algorithms, and they are basically going to create more issues. The other thing is they have no impact on rankings, and that's something, it's not a Google metric, it's just some metric that Ahrefs came up, and the it serves Ahrefs' purpose. The people who are selling it serves their purpose. The people who are doing it serves their purpose. It does not serve you any good. I want to leave this right here and kind of move on. All I will tell you is, DA service, it's not worth it. Focus on creating high value content, helpful content, and you will just get the links. You'll just surface on search results. That's all I want to say. Okay. Next up is that revamping your website without losing SEO is kind of a tricky. Again, it depends on what you are doing, right? And this was something that came up actually it came from John Mueller during this latest Google Office Hour, which actually happened end of December. And what it basically means, like, look, it could mean a lot of things. It could mean revamping your site, could mean as little as maybe changing the color of the buttons or moving a little bit buttons here and there, things like that. Or it could actually mean picking up the site from one server to another server. It could mean anything. So, but all it boils down to is, look, you need to really start creating a plan. You need to do a current state as well as a future state, and you need to map all these things. And it's quite involved. What Mueller advises, and I agree with him, is that you should actually work with an SEO professional, a trusted, reputable, competent SEO professional, because there are quite a few SEO professionals out there who do not know what they're doing, and they're just gonna milk you or take you for a ride. And remember, let's go back, think about the DADR service. A lot of SEO professionals are selling that service, the backlink service. They may not say, hey, we're gonna do DADR, or they might say we're going to create backlinks and we're going to increase your DADR, but they're just basically snake oil salesman. So same way, but what I agree with Mueller over here is work with someone reputable, trusted, competent, and you can basically do this mapping and see what is involved. Now it might be like a couple of $1,000s, but it's money well spent. That is if you have a good big site, decent size. Or if you're just moving servers, that's fine. The other things that you can do on your own is you can crawl the website using tools like Screaming Frog to crawl. If I was doing it, I can usually write a wget and I can just follow an index and bring the whole site down. It's just me being technical and being a technical marketer, I can do that. You can always create a backup. You can find broken links. You can use link checkers to do that. You can stage the new website and somewhere else, and you can just again do link checking and make sure everything is working. There are no broken links and the redirects are working and things like that. So there are quite a few things you can do. Again, as I go deeper into it, you can see how big it can get, again, depending on the changes you're making. Unfortunately, there is no one size fits all, but this is a good time. It's a new year. A lot of you might be thinking of updating your website this year. This is a good time for you to start actually talking to an SEO professional. If you don't want to, jump right into it by yourself, which you should not be, because you have a business to run and not really focus on marketing or handling the migration of your website. Okay, with that, let's jump to the next update, is that the importance of our website's homepage in the eyes of Google. This came from episode 66 of the Search Off the Record podcast. This is a podcast from Google's Gary Elias and John Mueller. So what happened in the early days, obviously home pages had like a lot of importance, because of that was the main page from where you had other links. And over time that kind of lost its luster, and people moved into more like the inner pages, the pillar pages who had more value. However, and that was kind of pushed by other SEO professionals as well. Again, this is not my 2024 theme where I'm going to take a swipe at all SEO professionals out there, but it just happened over the years. Now, in this episode, Gary Elias is basically saying that, look, I cannot speak for other search engines, but obviously from Google's perspective, the homepage is the most important page on the site, right? That's what he said, quote unquote. And if you don't believe me, I have the link to the transcript as well as the link to the episode. You can listen for yourself. That is exactly what he said. So this statement is significant for business owners, as it implies that Google pays special attention to the homepage for indexing and understanding a website structure. Mueller echoed this sentiment, noting that Google uses the homepage as a starting point for crawling and gauging the importance of other pages. He explained that pages linked directly from home pages are often considered more important, influencing their weight in search results. This renewed focus on the homepage does not negate the value of inner pages, but highlights the homepage's role as a gateway to the rest of the site. For business owners, this means ensuring that a homepage is not only well designed and user friendly, but also strategically links to the key inner pages. This approach can enhance the visibility and ranking of your website in Google search results. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Let's go to the next update. The next update is, again, this is something we have covered in the past. It has come up again. It's just that, can I have a brand? Can I have, let me see, what is it called? Keyword domain name, right? Can I have keyword domain name like swimmingtrunks.com, right? That's a keyword. You are selling swimming trunks. Can I have that? See, and that post has been deleted on Reddit, but again, I'm bringing it up. I have a screenshot, which is here. If you're watching it on YouTube, you can see the screenshot. It's on this thing right now on my screen. But let's go back to my show notes, and what basically is saying Mueller is against it, right? Again, it could, depending on your long-term vision and long-term strategy, if that's all you want to sell, swimming pants, swimming trunks, that's fine, it will work. But it does not necessarily give you any extra SEO boost, right? Any SEO points, anything like that, having swimming trunks. So while you might be able to get away if that's all you're going to sell, like diapers.com, that's all they sell. But but Mueller is saying you're going to get boxed in. You cannot really move into other areas, and you might be able to, or Zappos.com, but Zappos was still just known for shoes, and it was a kind of a Zappos, right? But which was again bought by Amazon. But if you had diapers.com, they were only boxed into diapers until Amazon bought them. So it all comes down to long-term growth and online presence and what you want to do. However, coming back, and maybe it might help people to remember on top of their mind, flowers.com is flowers, right? But there are no extra SEO points, or you won't rank higher just because you have flowers.com, diapers.com, or swimmingtrunks.com is what it is coming back from Mueller. Okay, I hope that helps. Let's go to probably, is this the last one of this week? Yeah, no, second to last. So Facebook has this new link history feature for targeted advertising. What basically does is an updated app for Apple as well as iOS, which is Apple, and Android. Whenever you click a link within the Facebook app, Facebook is going to keep tabs on that link, as if Facebook didn't, because in the past they had, but now it's basically storing it differently. Because why I say as if they didn't is because, remember, if most websites have this Facebook pixel, except for probably ours and a few others. But anyway, what happens is when you click on it, Facebook already knew that you visited, but now Facebook is going to build this list, and they're going to keep that list for 30 days. And they're going to keep track of all the lists you have visited and the links you have created, link you have visited, links you have interacted with within the Facebook app. How can Facebook do it? Because when you click on the link, you'll see it opens up a new window, and it's quite easy technically to track it. It's gonna do it. What you can do is you can turn it off if you're concerned about privacy, and Facebook is gonna clean up everything, all the data. And on the other hand, if you are a business owner, it's helpful because now you have more data that you are not going to have because of because of the cookieless future, as well as third-party, tracking prevention that's there in Apple devices and all these things that are rolling out. Okay, that's all you need to know about this update. But if you want to really read about it, check out the show notes. The last update of this week is, and this is not really an update, but it's just something that showed up in Financial Times, is that the cost of LinkedIn ads have gone up now that a lot of advertisers have moved away from the platform X, which used to be known as Twitter. That's all. And they're saying in some cases it has gone up by 30%. Well, it is bound to happen, but at the same time, the other thing you need to know about is that probably X is cheaper. If your users are out there, you want to test it out, this is a good time. And this is something I've covered back in the day when there was a mass exodus of advertisers from X. And I said, you know what, hey, maybe this is a good time to go back to X because there's a lot of, advertisers leaving, so it might be cheaper. Whether it works or not, you have to try it out for your brand. Obviously, this is why you need to have a CMO type person and a senior level person, even if you're a small business, who can actually guide you and who can help you hire the right person and kind of test this water out. And maybe it's worth spending $1,000 or $1,500 to do an experiment, right? And see if it really yields any results or not. Because if costs are going to continue to go up on LinkedIn, then you need to find other options, or you could go to Facebook, but the costs are higher there. Maybe you have to try YouTube and so forth. With that, folks, that's it for this week in marketing. This is Sajid signing off. Until next week. Take care. Bye-bye.